We have to talk about this. There's been a lot of disasters in China recently. A lot of natural disasters, but a lot of man-made disasters too.
The term Tofu Dreg project refers to shoddy and poorly constructed projects in China. It was named for the easily crumbled residue left after making tofu. The phrase was originally coined by former Premier Zhu Rongji in 1998. This issue has only become more pronounced in recent years. It has made China's infrastructure a ticking time bomb. But what is the real reason behind it? Before getting to know more about it, let's look at some of the infrastructure projects that prioritize speed and cost-cutting over safety and durability. One of them is urban sinking in Wuhan. This city began experiencing noticeable land subsidence in 2023. This phenomenon is largely attributed to excessive groundwater extraction. It was first observed through satellite imagery. This highlighted uneven ground deformation across the city. Reports indicated that nearly 45% of Chinese cities, including Wuhan, are experiencing subsidence rates of over 3 millimeters per year, while some areas exceed 10 millimeters annually. But the situation in this particular city is alarming due to its dense population and critical infrastructure. The city is built on a combination of reclaimed land and river deltas. In addition to the direct impact on buildings and roads, there was a growing fear that continued subsidence could exacerbate flooding risks, especially in low-lying areas. Entering 2024, the issue in Wuhan continued at an alarming rate. The impact on everyday life became more evident, such as roads cracking, buildings tilting, and water pipes bursting. In some neighborhoods, residents reported visible sinking of their homes. This led to property damage and increased insurance claims. This is not the only disaster that happened in China. We are going to cover various events in this video, so keep watching to know more. The Xi'an gas explosion was another devastating incident. It occurred early in the morning on June 13, 2021, around 6:30 a.m. local time. The blast took place in a two-story building with a bustling vegetable market in Zhangguan district. It is a residential area of Xi'an. The market was filled with early morning shoppers and residents. The explosion caused the building to partially collapse. It also trapped many people under the debris. Nearby buildings and vehicles were also heavily damaged. Initially, 12 people were reported dead, but the death toll eventually rose to 25. Over 100 individuals were injured, with at least 37 suffering from serious injuries. This incident drew significant attention to the risks posed by aging buildings and inadequate protection measures. The Beijing subway flooding incident in 2023 was part of a broader disaster. It was caused by unprecedented rainfall and heavily influenced by Typhoon Doksuri. The city experienced extreme downpours from July 29th to August 2nd. This led to widespread flooding that severely impacted the subway system. The flood caused massive disruptions, particularly in the more rural districts of Beijing, such as Mentugou, Fangshan, and Changping. The flooding led to significant economic losses, estimated at over $13.2 billion. Numerous lives were lost, homes were destroyed, and millions were displaced. The incident sparked controversy about Hebei province. This was used as a buffer zone to protect Beijing by redirecting floodwaters and suffered extensive damage. This decision angered many residents and highlighted the complex challenges China faces in disaster management. The Xi'an road collapse in 2024 was another major infrastructure failure. It highlighted ongoing issues with urban development and construction practices in China. This incident occurred in a busy area of Xi'an. It is one of China's ancient capitals and a major city today. The collapse happened unexpectedly. It caused immediate panic and confusion among residents and commuters. The collapse resulted in significant damage. Some vehicles and pedestrians were directly affected. The city undertook emergency repairs. Initial investigations pointed to poor construction practices, inadequate maintenance, and possibly heavy rainfall. The collapse underscored dangers posed by poor construction and the need for better urban planning. The event sparked widespread public outrage. Citizens demanded accountability from the authorities and construction companies involved. But why is China ignoring these important projects? We'll find out about it later in this video, so stay tuned. Frequent bridge collapses in China have become a major concern. It is often attributed to a combination of inadequate maintenance and extreme weather conditions. In recent years, China's rapid framework expansion has led to a massive network of bridges and highways. For example, a recent bridge collapse in Shaanxi province. This led to the death of at least 12 people. The bridge had reportedly been built with subpar materials. The rush to complete these projects in a booming economy often leads to insufficient oversight and quality control. But why do these incidents occur so frequently? Let's find out about the reasons behind it now. Substandard materials are a significant issue in the construction sector. One of the most critical concerns is the compromised quality of structures built with inferior materials. This can often lack the necessary strength and durability. It can also lead to structural failures. For example, poorly manufactured steel beams may bend under load. Low-quality concrete can crumble under pressure. Buildings constructed with these materials tend to have a much shorter lifespan. Inferior materials are prone to faster damage. When buildings fail prematurely, the cost associated with repairs, legal disputes, and even diminished property values can be huge. The environmental impact of using bad materials is also significant. These materials may contain harmful chemicals or fail to meet sustainability standards. They may also contribute to pollution and resource depletion. Widespread corruption in the construction industry is another factor contributing to this issue. This often manifests in the form of bribery. Contractors, developers, and construction firms offer bribes to government officials to bypass regulations and inspections. In return, these officials may overlook critical violations or approve lower-quality materials. So, as a result, poorly constructed buildings are formed. It not only compromises safety, but also allows dangerous structures to be erected without proper investigation. Corruption creates financial incentives for both officials and construction companies to cut corners. Companies can save money by using inferior materials and skipping essential steps in the construction process. While still winning contracts, often through bribery, this results in projects that are unsustainable in the long term. How do authorities influence the situation? Keep watching the video until the end to get your answer. The lack of skilled labor also contributes to the lower quality of projects. Many projects are undertaken by unskilled and undertrained laborers. They may not be familiar with modern construction techniques and best practices. This shortage of workers leads to errors in construction. Inadequate training further increases these issues. So eventually, structures become more vulnerable to failure and pose greater risks to public well-being. The rapid urbanization of the country has led to increased pressure to complete projects quickly. China has aggressive targets for infrastructure expansion. Local governments are driven by the need to meet these targets and attract investment. This can lead to inadequate oversight during construction. It ultimately develops buildings that are unsafe. The rapid pace of development has also overwhelmed regulatory bodies. This makes it difficult to enforce building codes and standards effectively. Instead of holding responsible parties accountable, the narrative is often shifted to minimize blame and avoid public scrutiny. The combination of these factors has led to several high-profile building collapses and project failures in China. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe for more videos like this.